Yo, shmee. How's it going? And welcome. So glad you could pop in and join. Literally just getting started, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stream today, and I have no idea what I'm gonna stream. But that's okay. We'll just doodle around. That's all. That's all I really wanted to do anyway. Was some little doodles. Well, hopefully. We'll see. How are you doing? I'm assuming you have the day off as well today? Also, let me know if the music is a good balance with my voice. I don't want it to like overpower or anything like that. So it seems like the mic could be higher. Yeah. That's fair. Okay. That might be a little better. I just have a cat, so, you know, she's not terribly demanding. Yeah, I think the music volume is good. I think the microphone may have been a little too quiet before. Every now and then when you get any kind of a system update or a software update, sometimes OBS will just like reset things. So when I launched it today, I was like, why is my microphone not working? And so I had to like go through and check all the settings and redo stuff. And figure we'll start with just some warm-up doodles. I've been thinking about this. It's like fantasy story that I've been really wanting to write, and I've just been kicking it around in my head a lot recently and rethinking some of the characters, plus considering one or two new characters that might have to be in the story. We'll see. Yo, Viscera, what's up? Autumn, how's it going, brother? How is everybody? And let me know if the audio is okay. I opened OBS and a bunch of the settings were gone, so I had to redo some settings. We're still going with the Red Dead music today. I feel like I should move the water over here for now, I think. So I don't have to reach across the the page every time. That makes more sense. Dazzle Pants, yo. Autumn, what can't you hear? The desktop audio or the microphone? Oh, the music. It is kind of quiet. That might be a little too much. How is that? It's kind of a quiet track anyway. Cool. Yeah, let me know if it's too quiet overall or gets too loud or whatever kind of craziness. Who knows what we're looking at? How is everyone on this fine Monday? What, did you get up and start working or something? I hope you didn't. I mean, you know, we've got a bunch to do starting tomorrow, but taking today off, damn it. Oh, okay, cool. At least you didn't get up today and start digging into sketches or something. Yo, Dazzle Pants, thanks for that Prime sub. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Cheers. Well, cheersing with a afternoon latte. But, you know, it works. I think. Damn. Yeah, that's chilly. That's chilly. It's cool here, but not cold. Also, everyone, welcome Shadowwalk Shanti to the chat. She's a longtime supporter on Instagram. First time catching a live stream here, so super glad you could join. I filled the bird feeder, so the birds are all going nuts over it right now. All little finches and goldfinches and doves and yellow-rumped warblers. thanks for gifting her that sub. That's awesome. Shadow Walk, now you've got access to some emotes. I forget which ones are tier 1. There you go. Emotes. With this, when I'm doing this stuff with the water, I tend to not worry about keeping things so clean, just because I know that most of the marks are going to get turned into, more watermark type stuff anyway. So if anyone's wondering why I might get a little scribbly, sometimes that's with this particular technique that's a bit intentional. So I hesitate to call it a technique because it's just ink and water, but so it's not like there's some kind of methodology to it. I kind of just make it up as I go and see what works and hopefully avoid too much of what might not work. But one of the main things with this is that you don't want to dig into the paper too much. It's best to go light, especially once you're going to bring water into it. It's best to go light with it and just kind of let the weight of the pen make the marks, because if you dig in, sometimes the water won't smear the mark in the same way. So I try to keep this part of the process a bit light, and then if I decide to come back in and do lines over the top, then I might go a little heavier at certain times. So but other than that, it's pretty forgiving. Like I can search around a little bit, try and find my marks, knowing that or trying to find the structure, right? Knowing that the water is just going to blend all this stuff out. So it's not, it's less stressful than many other ink techniques. Like if you're going to draw straight in ink, right? Yeah, it's Brett, it's going to be a pretty chill day today. I realized I haven't done a lot of sketchbooking lately, which is very kind of weird for me. I'm usually always doodling in my sketchbook, but been spread a little thin doing other things that kind of took over my time. So just trying to get back to some of it, you know? So I just wanted to kind of doodle around, have some fun, but I am thinking about projects, stuff that I'm working on. Again, this is sort of, there's this fantasy world that I've been wanting to write, and I've been kicking it around in my head a lot. And not so much rethinking characters so much as thinking I might need to add a couple characters early on in the story to have it make a little more sense. So, some of this is going to be kicking around some of those ideas, I think. So this is literally just water, but because I'm using fountain pen ink that is very water soluble, it just basically explodes on contact with water. So, it ends up with a nice kind of ink wash look that I love, and I love to play with. So, yeah, it just gets fun kind of marks and whatnot. I'll probably bring some brush pen in at some point, because brush pen is always fun. Oh, right on. Thanks, Shadowwalk. I appreciate that. I know, most of my Instagram is like all female characters, but contrary to popular belief, I do actually enjoy drawing male characters too. I think the difference is at work, I mostly draw male characters. So then sometimes outside of work, I don't always want to do that. Or I rarely want to do that, I should say. So while most people think I only draw women, I'm like, well, actually, most of my day is spent drawing men. I just don't get to show the stuff I do for work, so nobody knows. Martest, what's up? Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's the nice thing about drawing during the day or streaming during the day is that I feel like you kind of get more people randomly kind of popping in and out, right? I think it gets a little trickier when you're doing it at night, especially, with the time zones when there's not a whole lot of overlap. Yeah. What are you cooking? What food are you cooking? Yo, Bumblebee, thanks for the follow. I feel like my schedule is all weird right now because I've been at girlfriend's place the last couple of nights, and she likes to sleep in. Trying to decide how old I want this character to look, and I'm just not quite sure. Yo, Sarah, what's up? No, when left to my own devices, I don't really sleep in much. I don't know, like once I'm kind of awake, I start to get antsy really fast, but it also depends on if it's like a day where I'm gonna be trying to get stuff done. You know, if it's not, if I'm really like, you know, I have nothing I need to do today, then I don't mind sleeping in a bit. But again, left to my own devices, that's not really the case. I always have stuff I want to get done, but you know, it's because I love to draw. I love to draw. One of the things with this kind of that I think adds a lot of character to this kind of technique are these, you know, watery marks and the edges on the marks. And so I like to try and just create those as much as I can and let them kind of do their thing, you know. So that's why I'll sort of lay marks down and not scrub into them a whole lot, because I want them to sort of just dry as they are, and I can always sort of come back over and, you know, refine some values at a certain point. But I don't want to scrub it around too much and ruin the sort of really nice organic quality that the marks have. I agree, Shadow Walk. I think the organic marks kind of give it character that, you know, wouldn't have otherwise. This one probably got away from me a little bit, but that's okay. It's kind of the whole point of Sketchbook, right? Doodle, 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 practice, practice. But I can also always bring in a little bit of gouache at some point and sort of, you know, push some of these values in other directions. And the gouache is kind of fun because when it mixes with the ink, it takes on a cool color, like a cool temperature, which adds, I don't know, something a little different. So that's where I don't mind painting into it more, you know, and getting a bunch of ink and then trying to bring some gouache in to see what kind of things I can get going on. Turning some of the forms and just adjusting some of that stuff. It's just a good idea to wait for this to totally dry before you do that, because otherwise the gouache, you know, won't do anything really. It'll just start to look kind of muddy. So, yo, Incredible Honk, what's up, dude? How's it going? I can't tell if this is like a little out of focus here. No, looks pretty good. One of the reasons you also want to really let it dry is if you bring the pen or brush pen into it. Oh, what on earth is happening there? Oh man, we are out of ink in this brush pen. And we had some kind of weird fuzziness growing on it. Hang on. I'm gonna put some ink back in this. So I'm using this Onyx Black, Diamine Onyx Black fountain pen ink. And so all I do with this, right, is normally like how this brush pen would look. I just have the tape on it to mark which one is water-soluble ink, because I have two of these. So, anyone wondering, it just has this ink cartridge, which is clearly completely empty right now. So I have a crafting syringe here, right? So it's just a dull tip on it, and all I do is put the ink in the crafting syringe, and we put it in our ink cartridge. Super easy. And we pop that ink cartridge back onto our brush. And that is that. So very, very easy process, but that's how I put my own ink in the brush pens, because I'm not a huge fan of the ink that comes with the brush pen. I feel like it tends to gum up the pen, like not always, but often enough that it's a pain in the ass. So yeah, most calligraphy pens you can do that. You can like they'll have the ink cartridges, right? So like the fountain pens that I'm using, I mean they have refillable. What are they called? GeoJohn G. Thanks for the follow. Right, they have these kind where they're meant to fill with your own ink, but not every pen has those. So, Sezugite, Sezugite. I don't know how to pronounce it. Thanks for the follow. So this is, the brush pen's nice in this case just to sort of like reinforce some forms or values or marks, you know. Yummy Sun, thanks for the follow. You know, add a little bit of drama. Kind of reinforce values. Details where you might want. I like that guy quite a bit. I don't feel like he needs much, but this guy, I'll do a little bit of brush pen, and then I'll probably bring in a little bit of white wash to refine some of the forms a bit. I don't totally love where some of that went. And while I do not need it to be perfect, I'd like to tweak some of it. Hey, Ray Pay Sebe. Thank you. We're kind of just playing it fast and loose here today in the sketchbook, so we're not going too crazy. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of gouache out on my palette here. Even though I have some, the stuff on the palette is dry, and you can reconstitute gouache, but it's not the same as watercolor in that regard. Like watercolor is meant to be reconstituted. When you reconstitute gouache, it tends to break apart a bit more. The pigment and the binder tend to separate, and it'll get more grainy, which is fun. Like, it's great if I want that look, and I'm not at all opposed to it. But it's just being aware of the difference, I think, in the look. Do two-part here. Gotta bring some of that dark up. I got to refine some of these. Like, all of a sudden, when I start bringing in the gouache, it gives me kind of some more options of what to do. So I want to refine some of the forms as far as which ones are turning, you know, and which ones are like turning more than others, I should say. All the forms are turning when we think about it, but I want to give myself enough room in the values to paint, you know, back up. Because like, if I'm going to use an opaque paint for the lights, then I might as well give myself some midtones, right? And you'll see the difference. You can already I don't know how much it shows up on there. A little bit. You can kind of see it. This is a little cooler where I brought the gouache in, but I think it's hard to see on stream. That feels dry. Yeah, that's fairly dry. So there, that's allowed me to refine refine the forms a little more. And I feel like the light is maybe coming a little more from the upper right, so I'm gonna lighten that side of his nose a bit, and otherwise it starts to pop forward, right? And we don't want the far side of the face to pop forward, or it'll just make it read wrong. So just trying to set some of that stuff back. I'm actually just using white gouache. Leora this is the Holbein permanent white gouache. I don't know why they call it permanent white, to be honest, because it is anything but permanent, but it's white. edge of that face, get a little more shape in there. That works. Also, along the way, if I miss any questions, please feel free to repeat them. I do sometimes get caught up in, all the art stuff. Hey, thanks, Shadowhawk. Yeah, I think his face works better now. Turn the music down a little bit. Again, let me know if the music gets a little too loud. Too hectic for people. Wait. Before I move on. Little. Yeah, that's kind of what I had a feeling it might, just looking at the levels on. Hopefully that works a little better. Sometimes if you get little stray hairs, they can really mess with the tip of the brush. Raid. AKA Cobbs. Rating with 46. Or 56. That's weird. One says 56, one says 46, and I don't know what to believe. Welcome. Welcome, Raiders. Oh, right on. Right on. I appreciate that. I think many of the viewers here are used to me talking about France. AKA, how was your stream and what did you do? Baguette. No, my girlfriend just made cassoulet. So we just had that last night. It's like a 2 or 3 day process, right, for cassoulet, but so delicious with some duck confit and ham hock and love it, love it. Thanks for the follow, Peppa Toon, Bad Gab, Cecile Art. Thank you. Hey, thanks, Dominator. Yeah, no, we love cassoulet. Anything with duck confit, and we're happy, right? But it's crazy because here I'm in Los Angeles, and even in the French restaurants, we never see it on the menu, and we don't know why, because we love it. Oh, right on. If you want to share, AKA Cobbs, if you want to share anything, please feel free to post a link. Either if you have what you just worked on stream, or if you have any social media that you want to share, we would love to see it. Please feel free. This guy just looks elven, so we're gonna run with that, I think. By the way. That's interesting. Nelfithion? Nelfithion? Yeah, we, I guess the last couple times that we've gone to France, we tend to go to Baynac, right, in the Dordogne River Valley there. And of course they have cassoulet everywhere. And we love it. Ooh, let's check this out. Instacobs. Oh, that stuff's dope. Right on. AKA Cobbs, your stuff is rad. I love it. I love it. Instacobs. Insta follow. Right on. Also, I'm gonna give you a follow over here on the Twitch. Sweet. Stuff's great. But yeah, we love we love going to Baynac. It's one of our favorite places ever. So for anyone who doesn't know, I work primarily as a illustrator and sketch artist in advertising. So that's my day job, right? Helping to design movie posters and stuff. Dominator, thank you so much for joining, coming along on that raid. I appreciate that. Thanks, Nelfithian. I do tend to draw a lot of elves, not gonna lie. He wasn't initially going to be an elf, but then I was just like, you know what, he just looks elven, so let's do it. Right? Hey, dude, thanks for gifting that sub. Thank you. Do any more to that face. Kind of like it just as it is. Hello, Shockways. Shockwaz. I don't know what that word is. From The Witcher? Was that in the books? I don't remember that from the show. And I haven't read the books. Autumn has read the books, I believe. Oh, they're the elves. Oh, cool. Right on. Fithian, thanks for the follow. Yeah, Shockways. I love the Red Dead soundtracks, like all of them. I think they're so good. So I would highly recommend getting them. Cammy, what's up? Yeah, I think today is gonna be mostly just kind of doodling, kind of warm-ups, kind of kicking around ideas. We've been going for about an hour. I'll probably get into some watercolors before too long, though. So what I'll do is I'll switch over to some, although, oh wait, no, this is the water soluble. I'll switch over to some waterproof ink so I can throw in some color if I want to, you know. But I'm gonna keep things pretty loose today, I think. I don't remember which track that is. Music always picks up for the dragon. Switch over to my fountain pen here. Because I want to bring some water in, but it doesn't work as well with the brush pen ink. I think maybe because the way it lays the ink down, it soaks into the paper more and doesn't, whereas with a fountain pen, it tends to sit on top a little bit more. And then kind of allows me some more room to sort of smear it around with some water. Near as I can tell, that's what's happening. But we'll see. Let's try. Let's bring some water in and see how much we can push some of this ink around. You never know. Never know. Yeah, but not usually. I think it's mostly the time, like the fact that I'm doing a daytime stream right now, and it's a holiday, so like, you know, people have nothing to do. Yo, Jay-Z, what's up, brother? I think normally Autumn definitely has averages more viewers than I do. You know, not gonna lie, I've been, you know, a little lax on the streaming, but mostly I've just been trying to get these other projects out of the way. You know, projects that have kind of been hanging on for just way too long, and after a while it just starts to stress me out, and I'm like, okay, let's get these things done. So that's where I was like, they kind of had to take priority for a minute there. And then we've been so busy at work that I was like, it was making for some very long days on my part. But you know, I'm moving through them, so it's all good. I've been productive and somewhat efficient, I think. Oh my god, that would be so much streaming. That would be so much streaming. 7 days a week, 8 hours a day. Woo. I mean, on one hand, I could see doing 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, only because if I didn't work full time, that's kind of how much art I would be doing anyway. I could kind of see that, but it would have to, you know, be at least almost as lucrative as the full-time gig. Right, because generally even freelancing, like, you can't show what you're working on a stream, so I'd have to only be working on stuff that I'm allowed to show, which would mean only my own stuff. Jay-Z, generally you can play game soundtracks because people are streaming the game, right? So they can't really, like, I mean, some games, yeah, they have a streaming mode where you can either turn the music off or it switches over to only, like, stream-friendly music. But usually that has to do with whether there's copyrighted tracks within the game. So what I did with the Red Dead stuff is I turned off all the vocal tracks, right? Because some of those tracks are copyrighted outside of the game. So, yeah, so I turned off any of the vocal tracks so that there would be less chance Yeah, Cami, it has more to do with the commercial art, not so much like commission stuff, but like, you know, the stuff that I do for work, obviously, like, that's working with film studios and stuff. So no, they don't want to show anything until it is final. You know, like they won't. They would never okay streaming that stuff. I think some smaller companies, like if you got into the gaming side of things, like doing art for games, some smaller companies might be into it. No, we can't, Jay-Z. Especially not when you get into a client that big. Then it's like, we really can't talk about that stuff. I mean, there's stuff that even after it's out, I still can't. I can't really say, like, go into detail about it. Even once it's out, sometimes all I can say is like, oh yeah, I was part of the team. And that's it. Get too finicky on this guy, I don't think. Wouldn't mind getting some watercolors down, so we'll switch over to some waterproof inks for the next. I'm just debating if I want to switch paper, but I don't think so. I think we're fine. We're fine with this. Okay. And Moleskine. Moleskine always has some of those pages that just don't want to fold back. Where's my clip? Oh. That's what Bulldog clips are good for. Cami, I have, but it's been a long time. At least, I mean, it's rare. It hasn't happened in a very long time, and it was like, I mean, a long time being, that was 17, 18 years ago, that someone had like taken my stuff from, it was back in the conceptart.org days. Someone had taken like a bunch of my sketches and then like someone else's matte paintings and someone else's whatevers and basically made a portfolio out of it, and I guess got hired at a place on the East Coast, and that's how they were discovered. Is then the people at the company that hired them was like, they were like, I don't know, this person's a little too well-rounded, let's double check on this. And then they found that all the art had been stolen from off of the conceptart.org forums, and so of course they fired the person, and then the guy contacted me to apologize and then asked if I would give him drawing lessons. I was like, no. Hell no. Weirdo. Actually, I think, damn it. Brush pen or fountain pen for this? I don't know. Ooh, fountain pen. That's fine. Let's check our. I haven't checked my. I'm getting ink everywhere on my fingers. Sea of Thieves. Oh my god, this thing does not want to open. What the hell? There we go. Always a good idea to check your ink levels. 'cause that one's a little off. Or a little late. Sorry, I just got to fill this ink cartridge. This is with the platinum carbon ink though, instead of that diamine. The platinum carbon ink is a fountain pen ink, but it is waterproof on paper once it dries. Process best not rushed because you can knock over your ink pretty quick. Like, did I fill this too much? I may have filled this a little. Yeah. And if you fill the ink cartridge too much, what can happen when you put the nib back on is you'll just get a bunch of ink shooting out everywhere, and that's not fun. It is not a fun place to be. Alright. Oh, inks. This is what I get for not using my inks in a while. That one looks good. I think I refilled that one recently, so. Okay. Alright, let's get back to this. Cryo, what's up, dude? How's it going? Man, I'm like so torn between doing a little bit of the water soluble ink, maybe with some watercolor, but nah, whatevs. I'm gonna might switch genres here. Yeah, I'd be pissed if someone stole my pens. Cryo, I'm doing well. I am, got the day off of work, so just having fun with some sketchbooking today, because I realized I haven't really done any legit sketchbooking in a little while, which is a weird place for me to be in. I'm usually always sketchbooking, least to a certain degree. Hey, paper, stay flat. Damn it, you're annoying me. Was it like a crazy ancient pen? Nelfithian? Because that would be awesome. A pen that was like handed down from like Vlad or something. Aurelia, what's up? Welcome. And hey, Sariana. Hello. The whole gang's here. Hello, friends. Chris CCB, thanks for the follow. Oh, and Pokey Poke, I didn't thank you. And DJ Say, thank you for the follow. All of you folks. Oh, those spider emotes are awesome. Jay-Z, what happened with the what did they do? Are they just like really bad cooks? I had a neighbor once where, I mean, literally almost every day they were setting off their smoke alarm. I'm like, come on, you gotta learn. Like, it's been long enough. You should be better at cooking than that. Enjoy your lurk, Cryo. I keep forgetting to put a lurk alert thing. I'll get to it one of these days. So what I'll tend to do is I'll use this pen because I love the fine lines it can get, and then I'll bring in the brush pen for some more heavier marks. And then I'll probably just throw in, I don't know, a little bit of watercolor here and there. I don't really know what exactly. I don't think I'll go crazy with it, but thought it would be kind of fun to do that, because, you know, among the many art mediums that I miss, watercolor is one of them. Pretty high on the list. I just wasn't quite focused enough today to break out the oils, so that's why I'm like, oh, you know, Sketchbook Sessions day. By the way, Sketchbook Sessions sounds really familiar. Autumn, is that a thing? Do you remember? It sounds like it was a thing. Oh, was that the things we used to go to at what's his name's house? Was that Sketchbook Sessions? Okay. That's what it was. Well, thank you, Cammy. Yeah, I honestly, like, I love all of it. You know? Like, there's just a time and a place for everything, I believe. I'm just glad the leaf blower isn't going anymore, because at about 1:30 they were doing the leaf blower like crazy. I was like, oh my god, please don't like do this right as I'm streaming like that. That would suck. Do our little brush pen here. This is great for just like some accents and things like that. Get some bolder marks here and there. Best not to overdo it though, you know? You don't want to put them everywhere. I usually try and just keep the composition in mind as much as I can. Alright, let me get some clean water, or else my watercolors will not be happy. Oh, Ergo, Josh, what's up, dude? I will be right back. Water. Different brush here. By the way, the brush I've been using is one of the Escoda Reserva brushes, so it's a travel brush, right? So just does that. Easy to keep in your pocket. And they're beautiful, beautiful sable watercolor brushes. I love Escoda brushes. Super awesome for traveling. Josh, how you doing, man? Turn this so that you can at least kind of see some of the palette. I know I usually am streaming like late for you, right? Yo, Kasem, what's up, man? Look at all these badasses popping in today. I'm gonna do a kind of general light wash. I'm debating how much I even want to worry about preserving the lights. I don't think I will. Unless I want a surface that's a little more glossy, but this is so light that I don't think it really matters. you know. And then what I can do is I can bring in other colors to start to push some of these around, right? Oh, thanks, Kasem. Yeah, so usually, Kasem, it kind of depends on my setup, right? So usually I have this camera on me, but for drawing, or unless I'm oil painting, and then I use my DSLR for the oil painting because I need to really be able to dial in uh, the exposure, right? But for drawing, the exposure doesn't matter as much, so my phone works well enough, and then I can use my Sony on me. Because it's a little bit of a pain to set the Sony up, especially at this angle. It's much easier if it's just pointed essentially straight out. But when I need it pointed down, it's a little bit of a pain. So that's why for drawing, I tend to use my phone with a power mirror. Because it's high enough resolution, like it's still grabbing it at 1080. So I can, that's good enough for government work, right? What is that? Still a little wet. Okay. Well, that might not matter, actually. It's okay if it's... Wait, did I miss something? I agree, Josh. Yeah, I mean, with the, I have the A6600 and it's hooked up to the Camlink 4K, so it is actually, it's grabbing at 4K. Which is a little overkill when it's just me up in the corner, but whatever. We don't care. A lot of times when I'm doing watercolor, I really like to treat it almost as a stain rather than really like going heavy on the values, at least in the sketchbook sense, right? If I'm trying to create a watercolor piece that is more of like a finished kind of a thing, then I'll go a little heavier on the values. But I like to kind of start out a bit light and then decide, if I even want to go dark at all with it, which I may not. Thanks, studio. Cammy, always. At least as best I can. Get that face wash. In the morning and the evening. Works wonders. A little hard. Uh-oh. Now we're into the Undead Nightmare soundtrack. I love this soundtrack. Alright, I do want to hint at a bit of light. Right? Meaning, ooh, that was fun. Whatever, we'll leave it. I don't care. Meaning lighting direction, right? So I do want to get a little darker on some of this stuff. Cat hair in my nose. What are you gonna do? Hair color. Right, Josh? I don't mind. We'll figure it out. Hey, Nelfithian, thank you so much for joining. Um, yeah, most of the time I'm streaming at like 7 p.m. Pacific time, so chances are that's like not an ideal time for you to to join. But I will be back Thursday if you have the chance. Do stuff that is maybe a little like, I don't know, wear and tear, you know? Battle damagey kind of marks and stuff. Keep it from getting too perfect. And actually, that's where gouache is really handy. And it doesn't take much at all. But it's easy to kind of get more of that watermark edge with gouache just because of the way that it separates. So we might as well. And what I like with gouache too is that then I can kind of come back in when it dries and scrub it around a little bit for some more texture. So you will see what I'm talking about. So with gouache, you know, when it essentially dries on the paper, you can scrub it around really easily. Whereas watercolor, once it dries, it's a little hard. It's actually a lot harder to kind of push it around and get more texture without it looking like you kind of messed it up. You know, watercolor is much easier to overwork in that regard. But just the nature of gouache kind of lends itself pretty well to doing these kinds of textural little things, you know. Man, it's really light, doesn't it? I wonder if I can adjust that a little bit. That looks a little better. Of course, when I take this away, it's okay. It's okay. I'm losing a little bit of the lighter midtones on camera, at least, but That's okay. Yeah, this is one of those, like, I don't know. I like this track. It's fun. What? Oh, so I should kind of want to. So create a little separation here. Do one straight in the brush pen. Let's do that. Just because we can. Cami, I will probably be streaming for like another hour, I think. I think I'll probably go till about 5. I feel like that. feels like a good cutoff time for me. 3 hours of doodling, I think, is a good kind of icebreaker back into the process. Zekeman, thanks for the follow. The only thing with the really long streams is then like you have to stop to eat, right? And then I don't know, it's kind of awkward. Although I don't know, I guess I've seen plenty of streams where people have stopped to eat and it's just fine. So maybe it's not such a big deal. That's true. No, I thought about like, oh well, I could just like pre-cook some stuff just to make it easy and quick, you know. I'm not opposed to the idea. cat's trying to stalk a squirrel outside. She just can't help herself. You'd think she would know by now that she can't attack them through the glass, but she insists on trying. Are they really that rare though, Cammy? Wouldn't most people enjoy that? I like to play with asymmetry, so I'm trying to decide how asymmetrical I want this guy to be. I kind of want to give him, like, on this side, a big, like, mech glove, and then this hand will have a more regular size sort of glove. No, you just gotta pace yourself and you know, do it right. Actually might bend this arm a bit. One of the things that I love to do is I'm like, you know what? If I want to give them a really big gun, I'll just give them like a really big glove that can actually hold a gun that size. It's just getting too awkward for you, Jay-Z. I regret nothing. Wrist brace. not gonna get it, I promise. Sorry, kid. But she is gonna try. I feel like that's an East Coast thing, Jay-Z. I haven't really heard that term out here. In LA, bums mean something very different. As you probably well know by now. Cammy, some of that is also honestly just trying not to overthink it and just sort of doing what feels right at the time. And I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know? I try to have it work more often than not, but not always successful. But it's also, I think, different when I'm just kind of like doodling around and having fun, and there isn't necessarily like a right or a wrong, right, to what I'm doing. I'm trying to decide how much. I'm not trying to like finish this thing out per se, so I was always a question of like, okay, where do I stop and start throwing in some color? I was wondering what was making that sound. I kept knocking into the pen a little bit, and okay, pen, we're moving you. Yo, Sariana, welcome back. I hope your mac and cheese is delicious. And honestly, that's one of the nice things with pen or with ink is that at least like it goes super quick. Whether or not it's successful is a whole other, conversation. But you're at least doing away with the whole pencil process. Not that there's anything wrong with the pencil process. I mean, on stream, plenty of times I've done pencils before getting into the inks, and I think there is definitely a time and a place for that. I like to do that when I'm trying to, get into something that's maybe a little more like design heavy. In terms of the composition and stuff, but if I'm just doing like a regular sketchbook page, I don't really care. I don't care. Who needs pencil? I love this track. It's so good. It's like cowboy surfers. I guess more rockabilly kind of, huh? A bit of that. No, not Texas Pete. All right, let's throw a little bit of color on this guy. I think we're gonna go. Dope. Got more there than I intended. I wanted to go a bit more green with this, like an army green kind of. That can work.
Yeah, for me, it all kind of depends on what having the hot sauce on, I think. I like Cholula. Um, I actually like Cholula's Chipotle hot sauce. That stuff's good. Not Chipotle like the restaurant, but although they do have it there. As a straight standard hot sauce, I prefer Tapatio over Cholula personally. But yeah, I mean, if you get into like a nice, you know, microbrew kind of hot sauce, then I mean, chances are it's going to be much better than anything mass produced, you know. But most of it comes down to just kind of like the flavors that you want, right? I think most of the armor I will do in green. And then I'll push some other colors into this a little bit. Yeah, if you want like really hot sauce, then yeah, you gotta get into some more specialized stuff, right? Getting into some of the habanero hot sauces and all that. I love those, and we'll use those a lot when we make like a Caribbean style ceviche or something. We love to put those nice hot ones in. Shit's good. One of the reasons I like to kind of just lay in a base color like this and then sort of nudge the colors around is just because it unifies things a bit more. Um, so, I don't know, I find it helpful to just have a base color to work on top of, and then I can always, warm it up, cool it down, whatever, as long as it's not overpowering, right? So in some of these places, I'm keeping it very light, but it's enough that it'll influence whatever color I put on top, especially working with a transparent medium like watercolor. Then it's it's easy in a sense. I don't want to say it's easy because watercolor is what it is and it has its own major challenges, but it's at least easy to nudge colors around. And with something like this, the drawing is doing all the heavy lifting for us, right? We don't have to try that hard with the painting. It's more about just the color choices. It's not terribly crucial that we worry about our mark making at this stage. Yeah, I don't like the hot sauces where it's so hot that it has no flavor. Like that's not fun. And it's kind of pointless to me to do that. Get a little sense of light direction here. Put that in my coffee cup. Although the coffee cup is empty, I think. Yeah, so whatevs. But it's always a little bit of a sad point in the day, right? When you look and you have no more coffee in your cup. So this is where it's like the barest bit of burnt sienna. So just nudging this in that direction without, overpowering it so that it's still kind of, we're getting some unification in the palette still. Trying to think if there's... elsewhere. Maybe we'll do that here. A lot of. That was not a little bit. Bring some yellow into some of this, I think. Just to shift that green around a little bit in some places.
Zebra Dorada. Yes, we're doing some watercolor. Well, Shadow Walk, I will give it some serious thought. I'm not sure when I could manage an 8-hour stream, but again, I'm not opposed to it. I think it would be a fun thing to, at least give it a shot. You know? See what we can make out of that. Then the question would be, do I go for doing like a single piece, a more developed piece, or we do some doodling, a bit of everything? I feel like I'd probably end up going toward a more developed piece, oil painting or something. That's a little more than the sketches that I've been doing. I'm preferring the really light lines on this one. I think it lets the texture of the watercolor sing a little more. The heavy blacks kind of overpower things a bit. And it's always kind of helpful to see that stuff and recognize it, For future context, it's useful to... We still need some of the wear and tear and aging on this armor, so... No, Shadow Walk. I was doing it, and then it was kind of like other things were demanding my time, that actually had, I guess, more purpose to them rather than just doing something because it's really fun. And the other thing was, like, I was really hoping I could stream that piece, but man, the 3D stuff in Photoshop is just so glitchy and it's such a pain in the ass that I think it just would not make for a fun stream because it'll crash and then I have to like restart Photoshop and it's just buggy as hell. So I think maybe if they can figure out some of those bugs, I'll get back to it. But it was getting to the point where I was just getting really annoyed working on it. Because like certain functions would just stop working. I'm like, cool, it was literally just working and then it would just stop. I'm like, awesome. And then I'd have to restart. Yeah, it was a giant pain in the ass, which is too bad because like it's a super fun process when it works. And it's like so much potential for storytelling and all that, but it's just a giant pain in the ass. I wish there was a 3D program that allowed for painting like Photoshop, Like, I feel like it would be better to go the other way and start with a 3D program rather than trying to shoehorn 3D into Photoshop, which is already, like, bloated as hell. Like, Photoshop has just too much shit, I think. it? What is it? Come here. Hang on. We're gonna say hi to the cat. Say hi to the cat. Is this on me? This is not on me. There we are. Oh, and there she is. Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. Little dinner face. Huh? What? That was a sad little meow. I know. It's so tough to be the kitten. Huh. Look at the little Tobies. What? What? Such a little brat. She just wants food. But she's gotta wait for 20 minutes. And of course, now I have cat hair everywhere. What are you gonna do? Alright. Not really sure what else I would do on this guy. I mean, I could keep, like, messing with it. I might try bringing... I'm debating if I want to bring a little bit of white gouache, almost like glazing over, to kind of play with some of the values. I have no idea what that'll do. I mean, obviously we went way heavier on the values than we did on this one, but so I'm kind of curious to we'll start light so that we don't totally fuck it up or anything. But I feel like so it's kind of just tinting it, right? I'm not trying to go crazy and overpower the color completely, but just messing with some tints, which in art is different, right? When you tint a window, it's like making it darker, but tinting in art is generally just adding white to a color, and then shades, we're adding blacks to a color. Tints and shades. Now I feel like it means a little different, right? When you get into photography and stuff, when you're tinting, that's usually like going what? Magenta or green, right? Cammy, I'm definitely a cat person, but I love dogs too. Like I grew up with dogs, um, but we had cats too, but they were outdoor cats. But I tended to spend a bit more time with the cats than I did with the dogs. So I suppose at heart I'm really more of a cat person, but I love animals in general. But for me, in terms of which one I want to have in my apartment, uh, definitely definitely lean toward cats. And part of that is because cats live so much longer. Like it's just the saddest thing when you like devote all this time to this creature, and then like in the case of many dogs, you're gonna get like 10 years, you know, and then you're all heartbroken and whatnot. But I just love cats. They're little ninjas, and they're so independent, and I love that shit. It's kind of cool, actually. I don't mind that. I might lighten some of this up. We can always pull out some little details too with this if we want. It's I don't want to say heavy-handed, but a simplified way of doing this, right? We could mix colors to pull out details rather than just using straight white, right? But for a sketchbook, I feel like it's fine to simplify things a bit. I do like one of the nice things with this is just the layering of it, where with the slight transparency of the gouache, it just kind of adds some more layers of interest. I think I don't know how much of that comes across on the stream. No, it's showing up. It's showing up a bit. So there's a nice kind of. I'm a big fan of anything that adds another layer of interest, visual interest to something, especially if it's something that you can do relatively quickly and have it kind of feel like there's a little more going on as a result. You know. Yeah, it's the same thing, Cami. It's like that's typically the way that Caravaggio worked. Now he would glaze colors in too to bring back some of the vibrancy, but he tended to work in tints and shades a lot. So to lighten a color, he would pretty much just add white, and then for the shadows, he would add black. So there's a little more going on than that. I don't want to simplify his work down that much, but there was, I think it was, as art went on, people learned more and more about color and how to really get very subtle with it. At that time, in the Baroque era, they were figuring that stuff out still. So the fact that he worked with, in tints and shades, it's not like a hit against him or anything like that. It's not the way that I prefer to work,
but you know, whatever. He was still a badass. He was wanted for knifing someone in a tavern or some shit. So, you know, I wouldn't fuck with him. So yeah, tints and shades would still apply to working in wet media. It's just with dry media, you can't quite do that. You know, you can't really add whites. You kind of can, right? I guess with colored pencil even, you can bring in a white pencil over a color to lighten it, and it does kind of like, it makes it a little chalky, you know, and that's sort of the giveaway when someone's working in that way. Is it will get a little chalky sometimes. But if you're aware of that look, and you know, you can use it to your advantage, I think. You know, so I'm kind of enjoying the way that it's sort of graying out toward the lights when I add the gouache over it. It gives it a little different vibe, and it kicks down the vibrancy of some of the hues. And that's kind of fun. Gives it a sort of washed out look, which can allude to a certain type of lighting, right? Whether that's like an overcast day or whatever, where it's mostly just ambient light, you're not getting a lot of vibrant color, right? And if this was like an oil painting or something, I could always glaze in more. Even on this, though not with the gouache, now that the gouache is there, if I tried to glaze in color, the gouache would just mix with it right away. But if I wanted to give this more heat in the color, I would probably do it in the midtones, but I don't want to. I like the kind of desat look. It's fun. Fun. Paradox, what's up, dude? Blast87, thank you. I'm probably gonna call it for the day here. So you guys are coming in right at the end. We did these in the beginning, right? Just kind of warming up and ink doodling. And then we did these. Thanks, Shadow Walk. I'm super glad you were able to hang out and be part of the stream today. I thought that was rad. Because I think are you Central Time or Eastern Time, Shadow Walk? I think normally I stream kind of late for you, right? Because normally I would be starting at, normally I'd be starting at like 10 p.m. for you. Paradox, that stuff's not easy. It can be a shortcut once you kind of figure it out and learn what to do, but until you figure it out, it's not easy. Hang on one sec. Let's So Thursday, let's see if this will even work properly. Thursday, we're gonna get back to her. I want to kick some of the contrast is a little high right now, and there are areas where I want to turn the plane of the face more, right? It's flattening out a little too much. So and then I need to get her freckles in, and I might even glaze in a bit more color into this, right? Because this is pretty monochromatic right now, right? It's basically just transparent oxides, uh, olive green, Payne's gray, and white. So it's fairly monochrome. So I might glaze in some more colors. So I think we'll get into that on Thursday. And um, we'll see how long that takes. Um, if that doesn't take the whole stream, then I'll maybe start another little piece too. But it'll be fun. We'll get back into some oil painting, which will be cool. Ooh, let's see this. Paradox. So this is what you started with. Okay. Well, okay, so part of what you're running into is that the 3D is too simplified for what you're wanting to do, right? Because you're then trying to change these primitive blocks into organic shapes, and that is going to get you into trouble, you know? I would try and get some of these 3D shapes to be a little closer to what you're wanting to do. Or go back to the 3D piece and just turn it into buildings, right? Because then what you're doing is you're getting in the facades, all the detail of the buildings and that kind of stuff, but at least the primitives are the same, right? So that would be my suggestion on what to do with that piece. Because otherwise, like it's going to be working against you, and it's going to cause more problems than it's going to solve. Yeah. So, and I mean, I love the concept that you're getting into with the painted piece, but I would definitely recommend, if you're going to start with 3D, you want it to be as close to the general shapes as possible. Even if like the tree, the canopy of that tree, or is it a giant mushroom? I'm not sure, but like you could get it even closer with like spheres and things like that give you a more organic shape, you know? That would be my recommendation. Shadow Walk by the 7 p.m. Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, so 10 p.m. for you is when I'll be on. And Cami, yeah, realistically, this could be finished. Absolutely. And I hadn't intended on doing more than just glazing in freckles. But then I was like, you know what? I want to put another session into it because it changes the painting. It's a different process. And because every type of process just takes practice, if you're used to doing everything in one shot, then all of a sudden when you try and spend multiple sessions on a painting, you don't know what you're doing, right? So that's where I want to kind of just sort of keep up on all those different parts of the process and different types of processes. So, yeah, it's like as a sketch, I'm totally happy with this. And it's not like it needs more work, but, I'd like to take it further hopefully without losing the freshness of it, right? Because that's what I'm trying to figure out for myself is like, all right, if I want to render the hell out of an oil painting, I can do that. I know I can do that, but I don't love the look of it. And I want to figure out what is my version of a finished painting, and for me, because I love the kind of sketchy, more indicated type of techniques for pretty much everything I do. Um, I want to see what that is for me when I get to a finished process, you know, and I want to keep the freshness of that indicated kind of sketchiness while still having layers of interest and layers of process, because oil painting is so good. When you start glazing in those little transparencies and stuff, it adds a lot of depth, you know, it adds luminosity. When light hits it, it gives it more surfaces to refract within. And that's kind of the strength of oil painting. Whereas like a one-off sort of a la prima, it'll give you some of that translucency, but not as much as if you can get multiple layers in there. So, you know, it's just a little bit of figuring out here and there, and I'm just gonna do my best not to fuck it up, which is always the goal, right? Like, okay, cool, yeah, let's try not to totally fuck up this cool piece that we ended up with, you know. So that's why I want to put a little more time into it. Thanks, Shadowwalk. I'm happy with how she's turned out so far. Actually, she's a lot of fun. There are little anatomical things I do want to tweak and correct, you know. But for a single sitting, I'm pretty happy with where she ended up. A lot of fun brushwork in there, and no, I can't complain. So yeah, but that's what we'll get back to. By the way, I am loving these Raymer. It's like, no, I don't want to focus there. There. Raymar art. This is mounted on MDF. So Belgian linen is the Claessens 13 portrait linen. So it's a nice fine weave. I mean, we can see the weave there. That's a nice fine weave, so you can get a lot of detail, which is always fun, you know. Getting that stuff in there. So I don't know. Anyone that's interested in oil painting and stuff, I'd highly recommend these. I was very pleasantly surprised with how fun it was to work on this. Yeah. Super fun. So word. All right, my friends. I'm gonna call it. Is there anyone on? There must be people on, right? Who's on? Who do we want to? Although I don't actually have the time to sit around, I'd have to raid and run. But does anyone know? Is there anyone on that we should raid? Shadowwalk, I'm glad you could hang out. Super awesome. Hopefully you can pop in on Thursday too. Annabelle K. I do not know who that is, but that's all right. Annabelle K. Oh, I think I kind of know. We're gonna raid Annabelle today, but I do like both Sam Peterson and Mike May. So, Cammy, thank you so much for hanging out, dude. Really glad that you could. And
my friends, we're gonna raid Annabelle. Stick around for the raid, and then bail at your leisure. But let's give some love. All right, my friends, we will see y'all Thursday. Hope you have a great few days until then, and thanks for hanging out. Peace. Bye, Cryo. Bye, Paradox. Bye, Cammy. Bye, Art and Shadowwalk. Everyone, late.